I was at the Cancun retreat when I got the news from my OBGYN that I had irregular abnormal cells in the cervix that were positive for high-grade cervical cancer. I didn't know exactly what that meant, but it scared me. I was a little in shock, and I tried to call the OBGYN and the cell service just didn't work, so I decided that when I came home, I would confront it and see what steps needed to be taken. I went to the doctor and they wanted to do a biopsy of the cervix to see what grade lesion had formed. And so we did the biopsy and it came back as a level 3, SIN 3, which is the highest grade before it turns to cancer in the cervix. And I was shocked. The doctor wanted to do a procedure where he scooped out part of the cervix and then solderized it. And that sounded terrible to me. I didn't want to do that. I want to have children someday. And I said, is there anything else we can do? And he said, no, this is the only treatment we have available. And I said, okay. So I pushed it out a couple months because I wanted to give time to allow myself to heal. I thought, how could this happen? I've been to retreats, I've been doing the work, I've read the books, I listened to the podcasts, do the breath, I even do the breath. So I pushed the procedure back a couple of months just to give myself time to do the work, to see where I could progress on my own. And I kept an open mind. I really worked with all of the techniques, all of the tools that I mentioned, the breath, the progressive, all of the meditations. And I was gifted a Remote Coherence Healing. And I had the healing and I felt really feverish. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. I thought it was supposed to be bathed in love, and it was. But later that night, something actually came out from my body. And I knew in that moment that they had shifted a pattern in my field and that my body didn't need that anymore. It was the day of the procedure, and I said, Divine, I still haven't decided if I'm going to have it. If I'm not meant to have this procedure, make the doctor unavailable to me. And I just said, no more fear. I'm done with the fear. I'm surrendering to divine love. I know that's what's going to heal me. And I was actually on the drive to the appointment, and the nurse called and she said, we're so sorry, we can't do the procedure. The doctor is in surgery. And I said, okay, that's the sign I needed. I'm not having the procedure done. And so I said, okay, but I still want to check my progress. So I am going for a biopsy to see where this is. I sent a lot of love into the doctor's office, and as he was doing the procedure, as he was looking just to examine, he was kind of dumbfounded. He just was sitting there for like 3 minutes. And I was like, I joked with him. I was like, what, just the most perfect cervix you've ever seen or what? And we were laughing. And he says, it doesn't look bad. He did the biopsy, and he even wanted a microscope that was stronger just to see if he could find something. So he did the biopsy, and about a week later, the nurse called and she said, we're so happy to tell you that there's nothing there. And I was like, nothing there? She's like, everything looks great, Liz. You're good, come back to see us in your regular appointment follow-up, but everything's perfect, you look great. And I couldn't believe it. I was jumping up and down, and I know that it's surrendering into divine love. I know that it's not the fear and it's not the figuring out and the trying to do it. It's that the divine wants to do it for you.